Hi everyone, my name's Michelle and I'm Mama Loves You GB here on FlossTube, but also over on Instagram and Etsy as well. Welcome to the Sunday morning briefing on what is Mother's Day here in the UK. So happy Mother's Day to everybody who celebrates. I hope you have a really lovely day. I don't know what I've got in store for me, but I think there may be a stitching pattern or two in the works. We shall see. Right, it's probably going to be quite a brief briefing this week. I haven't managed to do that much stitching. As you know, I managed to get back to work on Monday after having COVID, and I got back into work and my desk was just like a bomb had gone off on it. So I knew there was going to be an awful lot of work to catch up on. Yeah, I wish you could have seen it. It was just like an explosion in a paper factory. It's been a bit of a tough week, because obviously I've got all my stuff just to catch up on anyway. But having had, I would say, quite a mild case of COVID, I felt pretty poorly for a couple of days, but then not much else. This week, I've had a cough like nothing else on earth and a headache. How does that work? So I've been negative all week and I've had more symptoms this week than I had last week. So I think I've managed to get probably one strand of thread in a night until today. We're in the Cotswolds, and I'm sorry, I've forgotten to switch this picture out. I normally switch it out for something less glary, but I've forgotten to switch it out. So we're in the Cotswolds this weekend, so it means I get to spend Mother's Day with my mum, which is going to be lovely. And I've managed to get a reasonable amount of stitching in today, so it's not like I've got 4 crosses to show you. I've got a little bit more than that. But yeah, it's been a very funny week, perfectly summed up, I think, by this little meme that I found, so I'm going to put it up there. Because for the first time today, not the first time ever, but very rarely, I had heartburn. And I never get, I was like, it's either a heart attack or it's heartburn, one of the two. So I'm going to try this Gaviscon. And if that doesn't work, then it looks like I'm a goner. Because, oh my goodness me, it was so painful. And obviously being a bit of a drama queen about it, by the time I had a couple of Gaviscon, it was all a lot better. But yeah, that's a new symptom. Although a new thing to me. I'm hoping that's not going to stick around too long, because that wasn't pleasant. And the other thing that I've noticed is I used to drink lots and lots of Coke Zero. Far too much probably for anybody to be healthy. And I just totally lost my taste for it. Totally lost my taste for it. I can taste everything, but I just don't fancy it at the moment. So I'm treating that as a bit of a win, because like I said, it was probably something that I needed to address, the amount of Coke Zero that I would drink, and I just don't fancy it. So fingers crossed that will stay. So I've been experimenting with all sorts of different drinks this week, none of which have been alcoholic, but we'll save that for another day. So I'm going to get on and I'm going to show you a little bit of stitching to begin with. I've got some news. I heard back from Alma Allen. I don't know if you remember from last week, I had messaged her about a sampler that was in this book, and she got back to me. So I'm going to share with you what we discussed about that particular sampler. I've got the winners for the Mary Kittle drum and the Mary Kittle big sampler chart from Crowsfeetstitching, so I'll give you the winners for those. I've got a freebie and I've got a little bit of plans to do today as well. So that's my plan. Just wanted to say welcome along to all my new subscribers and to everybody who's been here supporting me either right from the beginning, halfway through, wherever you joined. I do feel the love of your support, and that's fabulous. I'm nearly at 10,200 subscribers. So once you get over 10,000, it goes up in increments of 100 when you see it on the screen. So I'm very nearly there. So that's super exciting. Right, what have I been stitching? I have stitched. I'd shown you last week, and I've got everything in this bag. Now I was gifted this bag and I feel absolutely terrible because I forgot to write down the ladies' names who gave them to me. There was 2 ladies who bought me a project bag each the day we did the Patchwork Rabbit open day, and there was this one which had the bees and the honeycomb on it, and there was a Halloween one. So if that was you, please can you comment below, because I'm so sorry but I just forgot to write down your name, and I feel terrible. So this book, Keeper of the Pins, which is the fabulous new one by Brenda Gervais. And I have stitched, I don't even think I've quite finished it. I've stitched the red for this one, which says my soul is fed with needle and thread. Now I think last week I had my and fed, so I have done a little bit more. I need to stitch the green, which I'm going to do in a fancy floss. This one I did in a sulky, 36 count. If you remember, this is my piece of fabric that's got lots of little pillows stitched randomly on it. So I need to do that. And the other thing, there were supposed to be 3 of these little doodads at the bottom. So I decided to leave a little space, and I'm going to put a button on this one as well, because some of the other charts have got buttons on them. And she also tells you about how to make this one with the nice buttons on it as well, and just the little motif in the middle. So I thought I'd change that one up just very slightly and leave space for a button on there. And I have started another one. That's it. That is it. So I'm going to have to try and remember which one it is I've actually started. And I think, yeah, it's that one there. And the main colour of her dress is Mountain Mist, I think, and I've got some of that. This one's called Dame of the Needle. And these are so cute. So I did some stitching on that. And then I realised that I was in danger of getting quite far behind with my Year in the Woods stitch along. So I've decided to put a good bit of time into that, because they released the next month's one. So this will be the 5th one. So we've had the fox, the swans, the jackrabbit, the raccoon, and the next one is going to be a ferret. So that will actually be the end of the spring. Excuse me. That will actually be the end of the spring row. So I thought, well, I better get on and get stitching. I did actually also have a look back at the entrance for the competition, and out of all the entries we've had so far, there are 2 people who've got 2 correct. So it was out of the last 3 releases. We knew we had the fox, we knew we had the swans, I think. And yeah, so if you enter the competition, there's 2 people who've got 2 right so far. But I'm going to let it obviously play out right the way to the end, because somebody might get the first 5 wrong and then get the last 4 or 5 right. So, but it was interesting. If I remember to write down the names next week, I will have a look and see who is doing well so far. So this is the jackrabbit. I'm going to have to put a picture up here because I've only got with me my working copies, and I don't think I bothered to do a copy of the cover. Or did I? Oh, I did. There we go. So you can look at my working copy there. Those fantastic great big ears. And that is where, let's see if I can fold it a little bit better. There we go. That is where I'm up to with him. So he's stitched on a piece of 36 count fabric that I had hand dyed myself. So it's the kind of dyed to match as close as I can get to the called for Picture This Pluses. And I've had a few people ask me about these fabrics, because this was the first one, and sorry, this was the second one. This was the spring set, and this is the one that I dyed for the winter set. Been asking me what colours I used. So if you go on to my video, and I'll try and have a look back and see which number it is, but if you go onto the video where I'm holding up all these fabrics, in the comments box I do tell you which colours of Rit dye I used to try and achieve the different colours. So I'm sorry that one hasn't been ironed either, although my mum did tell me she's got a new iron. She's bought another new iron. She's the queen of irons. This woman's got more irons than I know of anybody I know, so I should really have given the new iron a whirl. But we've been out to lunch today with some of Mum's friends, because like I said, it was her birthday in the week as well. So we've been busy today. busy today. But now a little look around the charity shops as well. Love a good mooch around there. I've got some of those little puzzles, the wooden ones, and they've got the little tiny shapes of like the dog and the snail and the squirrel hidden in them as well. So I did one of them earlier. I did the smallest one, and yeah, it was so cute. I'll put a picture up. I found those in the charity shop, and the best whisk in the world ever as well. It's a brilliant whisk. It's a whisk, and then it's got like a little ball with another little ball in the middle, so that when you whisk, it's got a good weight to the end of it. Because I've got this whisk, and you whisk, you leave it, and because the weight of the handle is all wrong, it flings itself out of the bowl every time. And oh, it's going in the bin when I get home because I've had enough of it. Anyway, a small aside about a whisk. There we go. So it's been nice to be out and about, to be perfectly honest. And because we're in England, we don't have to wear masks anymore. They've completely gone, as they will do in Wales by Monday. So it's been really quite nice to be out and about. So that is everything that I've stitched on this week. So it's been a slow week. It's been a slow week, but it's been an okay week. It's been an okay. The other thing I was just going to talk to you about were these. And just something to look out for, actually. These are my mum's, and my mum doesn't use these very often, and I'm actually going to pinch these. Well, I'm going to swap them for mine, because these ones, and again, this might be useful information if you're in the market for a pair, these ones actually take hearing aid batteries. And so when you wear them, I'll do a lovely little demonstration. When you wear them, they don't weigh really heavy on your nose, whereas my ones take AAA batteries, 2 of them. It might even be one or two, but it sits really heavily on your nose. And so I'm gonna, because she doesn't use hers much, except for tightening the screws on her glasses, I'm gonna swap them. So I'm gonna have the lighter pair. So yeah, if you're looking for a pair of these, in the description, if you're on Amazon or wherever it is you're looking, check to see what kind of batteries they take, because they will sit right on your nose there. And I just suddenly thought of something else I had to mention, and as soon as it came into my head, it went out of my head again. The reason that I'd got these out, because the other thing that I found a little bit more difficult this week is seeing. I don't know whether it's because I've had a bit of a headache as well, but I wouldn't normally worry about using these, but it has been very handy this week with my added tiredness. Right, let's get on and do the winners. Let's do the winners of the competition. So Ruthie from Crowsfeetstitching had given us to share a copy of the drum for Mary Kittle and also a copy of the full chart for Mary Kittle, which is her new release, and it's on Etsy. So if you like it and you've seen it, and unfortunately you don't get to win because there is only one winner for each, then please go along and support Ruthie and buy yourself a copy, because I think it's one of the most beautiful charts, and definitely one of the most beautiful drums that I've seen for a long time. So the winner of the Mary chart, so the full chart for Mary Kittle, is Lynette Peters. So I'm going to put Lynette's comment up there. So Lynette, I will try and remember to comment on your comment, and then if you can get in touch with me via Instagram or direct message on Instagram or email, there we go, then I will pass on your details to Ruthie from Crowsfeetstitching, and she will post out, email out your chart to you, because it will come by email. And the winner of the drum is Betty Ross. So again, I'll put Betty's comment up there, and again, if you can get in touch with me, Betty, by Instagram DM or email with your email address, and I will get Ruthie to send those out to you. So thank you so much to Ruthie for allowing us to do a giveaway for those charts. That was amazing. Yeah, get yourself over there to have a look. I'll put all the details down below. Right, so Alma. I heard from Alma. Now where have I put that? There we go. I heard from Alma because I messaged Alma to tell her that I thought I had some information about one of the charts or one of the samplers in this brand new book. So if you didn't see last week's episode, I did do a run through of all the different projects in this book, because it's another one that is an absolute no-brainer as far as I'm concerned. And it was this chart here, and Alma had written that she thought that this was a girl called M.L. Bell from Moreton in Marsh, because it says Moreton along the bottom there. But she couldn't find her. Now, I love a good poke around on ancestry.com, or ancestry.co.uk as we use. And I'm thinking actually about doing a video, once I can work out how to do it, to just show you how I use Ancestry to try and find the girls on these samplers. And I looked carefully at the chart, or at the sampler, and I could see ML. Now, Alma had thought that said Bell, but I thought if I looked at the way that she does her E's in Moreton, which is definitely Moreton, her E looks different. So I think that was an A. So ML Ball. And then I was like, well, what's this bit here? Because that's got to mean something there, otherwise it wouldn't be there. So I think, or I thought, this girl's name was M. Ballamy, B-A-L-L-A-M-Y. So I did a little search, and she stitched this in 1867. So what I normally do is take off, say 10 years or 12 years, and then do a search with 5 years either side, because usually girls are somewhere between 8 and 17, 16, 17. So I had an idea roughly when she might be born. And lo and behold, pretty quickly actually, a girl called Mary Louisa Ballamy came up, and she was born in Moreton Hampstead in Devon. And so I emailed Alma and I said, look, I found this and I think that this might be your girl. And she emailed back, and I was a bit of a fangirl moment, to be honest, to get an email from Alma Allen. And she said, I think you might be right. I think you might be right. It could well be her. So I printed off Mary's family tree. So I'm just going to give you just a little bit of information about Mary. So I think she was born in 1855 to William and Elizabeth, and they lived, as I said, in Moreton Hampstead in Devon. And she had, her siblings were Bellina, Elizabeth, Thurza, Emma, William and Edmund. Now, partway through, somewhere in 1860, the family actually went to live in Glamorgan. And the sampler was stitched in 1867, so by that time she was actually living in, well, it's Glamorganshire, that sort of surrounding area. So technically she's a Welsh sampler. So the last three children, Emma, William and Edmund, would have been born in Wales. And I then lost Mary for quite a while, because it's not always easy to find when someone gets married. But I found her again eventually, and she married a James Harris, and they had 5 children in Wales: Katie, Ethel, William, Reginald and Doris. And so just a little bit of information about Mary and where she came from. So I've sent that over to Alma, so hopefully it'll be nice for Alma to have that little bit of information about her particular sampler. Right, freebie. The freebie that I've got this week, sorry, I just got a warning that my camera battery's dying, so I'm hoping that didn't interrupt things too much. We're still recording. This is by Pinker and Pumpkin Blogspot, who's one of my favourite places to go to get little freebies and things like that. Melissa does a great job. And this one is from her most recent post, actually. It's called Beatrice Bunny Stamp, and it's there. And this is the chart. Now I just thought this would make a super cute little scissor fob. Just like a really, if you did it really, really small, I thought it'd be really cute. And I'll just hold it back there. Here's a free chart, so go and grab it from her. And I'll also put, I'm going to pinch her picture of it as well and put it up there to show you. So I think you could stitch that with whatever fabric you had to hand, whatever colours you had to hand. I think it would look fabulous because it's just a great fun little design. And then the last thing I've got is just a little bit of plans, because we're getting towards the end of March and I haven't stitched my 12 Days of Christmas block yet either. So when does March end? Thursday? I've got until Thursday to try and stitch this one, at least get it started. So this is the 12 Days of Christmas by the Vivsters. You can find it on Etsy, or you can find it on that other place, the Silk app. There we go, that's where mine is, on the Silk app. And this is stitched 1/2 on some 36 count that I dyed myself, because I didn't want to stitch all the background, because technically it is a full coverage piece. I'm sure you've heard, if you're a regular viewer, you've heard before that this comes in 3 rows of 4, I think, as a chart, but I'm going to do mine in 2 rows of 6, just because I like the shape of it, the long thin shape. And so that's my only plans for this week, is to work some more on my Year in the Woods by Cottage Garden Samplings. I always get that one wrong. Should really get that finished because it's not really that hard. But what I should do and what I could do might end up being 2 different things. You know what it's like, plans are made to be broken. So have a lovely rest of your Sunday, everyone, and I will catch you next week. Stay classy, stitchers.